good? What's good? Yo, let me tell y'all something, man. Um, I'm bad luck. I guess we gotta start it off the right way, right? This is episode 8. Yeah, I said that with Blackceezar. My bad. Yeah, I'm bad luck. So when the show was over, I'm like, yo, let me go get something to snack on, start setting up everything for the podcast. The Reds and the Pirates are playing. 11th inning. Reds are down by 1. By the time I really look over, somebody got walked, bases loaded. The next dude is coming up, not paying any attention, going about my business. Commercials on. So I'm like, oh snap, they must have switched pitches. Okay, I might get ready to get invested into this then. I see where this is going to go. Nah, it was over. They come back from the commercial, they doing post-game talk. I'm like, oh snap. I'm really bad luck because my girl loved to say that. Yo, no, stay wherever you are when the game close because you're bad luck. They never win. And this was evidence. I'm doing the show, bop, bop, boppity rock with the gangster joints, with the smooth joints, whatever's. I'm doing me. Show over. I'm getting ready to, get everything together to switch over. They right there. Bases loaded. Right there. All you need is one joint to tie, another joint to win. I'm like, oh yeah, this is in the bag. Minding my business. Commercial break, come on. Again, I figured switching pitches. You gotta switch the pitcher with that. Game was gone. Yeah. I see why she gets mad when I'm in the room and the games are tight. Whatever. Anyway, we here. We having fun. We're doing a lot of stuff. You know what we do. We answer questions. We talk that talk. We represent. Word. I'm a little heated about that. I feel bad for being like the bad luck. That's my whole thing. I feel so bad for being bad luck on that situation. It is what it is, though. Uh, it don't sound like it because I'm giggling, but trust me. Yeah. Anyway. You know how we get down on this joint. We answer some questions. We play some music. Whatever happens, we just flow with it. It's a nice thing. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the people who are listening. It's not a lot. It's not overwhelming. It's not, trust me, there's no massive, yeah, son, y'all people. Yeah, it's very humble. And that's how it always starts, I guess. Especially when you're doing it yourself. This is it. There's no additives to this. This is the vibe right here. So, thank you to the people who do holler at me, get down with the questions and everything like that. Here's a question. Shamika again. Salute to Shamika. You know how we do, Shamika. My girl gonna mess around and listen to this one day and be like, who's Shamika? Don't worry about who Shamika is. Salute to you, Shamika. Word. But anyway, yeah. Shamika wanted to know how I feel about the your boy Kimmel getting canceled and then coming back. Money. That's it. Look, that was a quick one. Next. Money. Money talks. At the end of the day, it's all about that paper. Disney was like, oh, we following the rules. The FCC was like, yo, we'll not only get Disney to cut y'all off, but if y'all keep playing around to these other programs, we'll take y'all license. Dictatorship at its best, at its finest. Disney was like, yo, we losing money. Bring your boy in and back. I was not aware that they were getting death threats. Like the people who worked for the night show, the late night show, all was not aware of this. People are still going, I just thought that it was a distasteful joke. What was distasteful about it? But I'm not going to talk about politics on this. I'm going to try my best not to. But yes, it was more shocking because even me and my girl was talking about it. She had no idea that he was suspended indefinitely, which we all know what that means. That code for you fired. Why not just say fired? People, say fired. Because when you say stupid stuff like you're suspended indefinitely, you're like, so when do I come back? You're suspended indefinite. I don't know what that. How many days is that, dog? People don't know. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all really be out here. Like people don't know. So yeah, man. Y'all just can't be out here tripping like that indefinitely. Is what that was. So yeah, I'm shocked. Disney was like, ooh, we need that money back. We need to save face. And here's the crazy part. For Disney, it looks bad. Not on a Jimmy Kimmel level, not on a PR level, but for a movie level. Because now you're going to have all these people who hate Disney's quote unquote wokeness, and then they're going to think, you know what? If we do enough stuff, they'll just shut that movie down and won't do it. Especially here's the thing. If you got a hint that this is where they were going, and they go, ooh, you see what they did for Jimmy Kimmel? We gonna do that and make them not cast that person. You open up a weird door for Disney. Disney has now opened up a wild door. So yeah, Shamika, that's how I feel about it. I'm glad it happened. Um, I'm shocked it happened. Yeah. Oh, yo, here's something we'll have to probably talk about that when we start playing music. So never mind. I ain't gonna talk about that yet. But we saw him. Oh my God. Just yo, that is a wild flick. Crazy off the wall flick. And what I like about it is it threw me back because in my mind, I thought Marlon Wayne's character was either a figment of his imagination or a spirit. You know what I'm saying? I did not know it was a real person. I did not know that this was a get down when you would meet. Like, yo, come to my crib. We gonna train out personally to make sure that you on my team. I ain't know it was gonna be that because that's the real layout. I don't know if people know, but that's the real layout, and all kind of craziness ensues from that point. I'm not. That's all I'm gonna give y'all. The movie is so wild, and it touches on so much, and people are like, yo, I ain't really like it, and I don't know why they didn't like it, because this is a wild psychological thriller. Like I said, I think maybe people didn't thought the same thing I thought. Marlon Wayans wasn't really there. He was like a ghost. He was a figment of their imagination. So he's like, yo, but it wasn't. So people, but I thought the movie was good. A movie that was in art that we watched that my girl kind of just was like, Presence. The Presence is, I don't know who's playing that joint. HBO Max, Amazon, Hulu. Somebody's playing that joint. The Presence. And it's a slow burn thriller about a family at a house that is haunted, and you see it from the perspective of the ghost. So it just is a camera floating around, going from room to room, hanging out with everybody, and every once in a while lets it be known I'm in the place to be. 1212, yo, I gotta be me. And again, I'm not gonna give a spoilers to that too, but the ending has baffled a lot of people. But they also missed the key point in a conversation. You see what I'm saying? It's weird like that because you gotta listen to some stuff sometimes. And even on him, there's 4 to 5 is oof. There's about 10 instances where they're telling you what to do and what not to do. I think it doesn't become abundantly clear until like the closer to the end, but it's happening the whole time. So it is. I think sometimes I want to say I think, and I'm saying it that way. We've gotten dumber as time went on. Like there's just a point where we might not be there all the way. But yeah, I saw him. To me, my personal preference, my personal view, the joint was solid. You know what I mean? I ain't here to argue with nobody about it. I'm just telling you, I personally think the joint was official. You know what I'm saying? Um, Next question. Whitney. Whitney wants to know, do I listen to Whitney Houston? Now, I don't even, look, you sound like maybe you're the real Whitney Houston, but we all know Whitney Houston's dead. Maybe you're a Whitney Houston wannabe. You're out there in Vegas and you looked a little like her, so you doing Whitney Houston lookalike joints. I don't know. I'm going to tell you this. For me, my favorite Whitney Houston song, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. That joint. Oh my God. You know, there was somebody who tried to sue his George Benson. That's a George Benson song. And I found that out as a kid. Way back in the day, Whitney Houston joint is blowing up on BET, is blowing up on the radio. You know what I'm saying? That's my joint. That's everybody's joint. You got the album. It's like, yeah, okay, the album cool. Let me get to this song. I believe the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride. That was my joint, son. That when I tell y'all, that was my joint. Lou Rawls, rest in peace to Lou Rawls. Negro College Fund marathon thing. George Benson comes out there and he's singing it. And I'm like, this is doo-doo. Where Whitney at? They can't afford Whitney? Not even understanding this is his song. Young kid, by middle school, digging through the crates. My mama has the album. My mama has the 45. My mama had the 45 the whole time. Ali's theme. Ali's theme, greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? Yo. So now I'm listening, and again, still, it sounds almost like it did on the marathon. I'm like, this is really not good. Now, we're jumping forward. Somebody went out there waiting to sue Whitney Houston because they said it took that, you know what I'm saying, greatest joint was stealing elements from their joint. They sued Whitney Houston. They didn't care about George Benson, who made a song for the Muhammad Ali movie. That Muhammad Ali, by the way, starred in. Yo. Yeah, son. Yeah. Anyway, fast forward back to Whitney from the George Benson joint. That was my joint. That was my joint. Made you feel good and felt warm inside. Like you had hot cocoa on a cold day from playing in the snow. Oh my God. That was, oh my, when I tell you that song radiates, it's just a beautiful joint. And what's another one? Mostly all the slow joints, by the way. It's mostly all the slow joints. She had a slow joint. Not Saving All My Love for You. Saving All My Love. That's a Cheetah song. No, it's the other one. I can't think of it. I'd have to listen to the Whitney joint. Look, when we get to the music, we gonna slide through some Whitney music, and maybe we'll find it. But I have it in my head. It's another slow joint. Whitney Houston was phenomenal. And it's not the Diana Ross. I mean, not Diana. No, it's not the Dolly Parton joint. Yeah, it's not the Dolly Parton joint at all. Which, by the way, look, American Idol, every time they did, and then we're gonna do Diana Ross. Then we're gonna do Dolly Parton. All the black women went straight to that song. Who didn't know that? They had to find that out. A lot of them found that out day of. Boom. What? Hold on. That's the Whitney song. Yeah. Whitney covered a Dolly Parton song. Huh. Okay. Girl, you think you got the chops to do this? Like Whitney, though. Yeah, okay. All right. Let's see what you got. Crazy. You know what I mean? American Idol, by the way, I didn't know it was still on. Like, they were still doing it. They had switched it up a little bit. Like, Lionel Richie and them was on it. Like, what? Matter of fact, I was on Instagram, and they came across the clip. I didn't know Jennifer Hudson and Fantasia were on the same joint. Yo. Matter of fact, I always heard about Jennifer Hudson losing. I didn't know she had got voted off. And so I'm reading the comments and like, that was the moment I stopped watching. Like, what? That was the moment. That's when I knew the joint was rigged. That's the point when you knew it was rigged. Season 2, you had what's my man's name? You had Ruben Studders and Clay Aikens. Yeah. And you're trying to tell me I don't know what season that is. That was your joint, not that one. Matter of fact, let's not even go with the Ruben Studders. Because Ruben, I think that season, I think that was season 2, right? There was this thing where I don't think they wanted black people to win. Mainly because it's like, how do you make a black person a pop star? American Idol back then still didn't know what it wanted to be. Kelly Clarkson had won over the fuzzy haired kid, and then they ended up doing old type what's the surfer movie with Antoinette or whatever her name in them? Yeah, they were doing movies like that, and they would do little musicals, made up musicals for them, and they were out here touring together. Like, they didn't even get the understanding what an American Idol could be until like years later when Kelly Clarkson's contract with that situation was up, and she really blew up. Like, nobody remembers that first album after American Idol. It's like, but when she got to be her, now you take it on. Then you're like, oh, that's an American Idol. Fantasia is another one. Like, but Fantasia is still here, doing her thing. Yeah, man. Whitney Houston was just different. Whitney Houston was really different. I found myself on YouTube looking at the joint she did for the HBO special for the troops. Whitney Houston was different, B. Whitney Houston was different. When people talk about great voices, there's a scene where she's doing the be my baby to that joint. She's dancing, singing, and she's skipping part, so you know it's live. Watching her sing with the close-ups on her, and you're watching her mouth move, and you're watching her take these breaths, and she gets ready to belt out this, and then she does that. You're like, yo, we don't get that anymore. We don't get that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Well, you could just sing and be appreciated. And I'm not saying we don't have concerts and shows where that's at. What I'm saying is, when you're on the magnitude, when you're on the level of a Whitney Houston, you are not allowed to do that. It has to be, everything else counts. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people go, Beyonce puts on the show, they don't care nothing about the songs. It's everything that's going on around her. The song and her singing a song is down the line. It's everything else that's going on. Whitney Houston, it's like, no, I don't care about none of that, Whitney. Just give me what you got. Whitney Houston can go out here and go old school like Anita Baker, Patti LaBelle, and just blast. None of the bells and whistles, none of the spectacle. Blast. I don't think a lot of artists today can do that. And it's not because I don't think they can't sing. It's just we don't appreciate it. Whitney Houston was phenomenal. Whitney. I feel weird. Whitney Houston was great. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, we're going to end up looking at Whitney Houston's song up. I'm going to tell you that right now. Yeah, we about to look that joint up. Spotify, Apple, Pandora, whoever else that we're dealing with that's dealing with us, we're about to get into this music thing, and we'll holler at y'all in a minute. You know what I mean? Word up. 1, 2, 3, and we're back. Yeah. Man, look. Anyway, one or two more questions before we get ready to get up out of here. And yeah, man. We're gonna do what we do. Yeah. My man Reese. Salute to Reese. I don't know Reese personally. I just said my man because it's dope. Salute to you, Reese, wherever you are. Thanks for rocking. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta, you gotta shout people out when they take the time to come through and holler. You gotta, you know what I mean? Salute, salute, salute. Reese wants to know. I know that you say you're a Michael Jordan guy, and I know that you say that you're a card-carrying member of the LeBron hate fan. Do you think you'd ever give LeBron his credit? First of all, Reese, I tell people all the time, yes, I am definitely a card-carrying member of the hate organization for LeBron. I will say this about LeBron, and I'm going to be honest with you. LeBron's greatest achievement is exceeding expectations. Y'all don't understand. They really were out. That's my argument. Let me say this right here. My hate for LeBron is the same hate I found myself developing for Eminem. It's the same hate I have for Kanye. It's the same hate I have for Drake. It's the same hate during the battle between Kendrick and Drake I found myself having for Kendrick. It has nothing to do with them. It's their fan base. You know what I'm saying? The fan base. When I say I'm not a fan of LeBron, that has everything to do with me personally. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm one of them people that if you're too popular, if too many people are talking about you, and I don't see it because I didn't get to see it grow, I can't rock with you. That's just my thing. Like I'm not a Run DMC fan, die hard like the average person. You know what I'm saying? Because Run DMC came out the gate and was just up. Run DMC was on MTV first before a lot of rappers were. Run DMC has a whole different career path than a lot of people. I saw LL Cool J come from Radio, I'm Bad, and become LL. I saw Rakim become Rakim. We saw Mike Tyson be the guy who had to step in and do the preliminary bouts and was knocking people out, and that was how his name got popping. And same thing with Oscar De La Hoya, same thing with a lot of these dudes. For me, LeBron came out the gate up. Mike came in the NBA and was just spectacular, but you knew it was Bird and Magic's lead and Dr. J and all of them. So Mike had to exceed. LeBron came out the gate up. That was my issue with Kobe Bryant when he came in. Kobe Bryant, my dislike for Kobe Bryant was the NBA was so anti-Iverson that they were pushing Kobe. People don't remember, they were pushing Kobe Bryant in your face. Like this kid, and he speaks Italian, and he does this and this, and his dad played in. They were giving you everything for you to love this dude. You know what I'm saying? He plays in LA. He was on Imus. What's the joint? The sports. It was a sports show on HBO. He was on that joint. He was on commercials a lot faster than the actual phenom that everybody was like, yo, that's going to be that dude. Don't get it twisted. Nobody was pointing to Kobe his rookie year. It was all Iverson. And that class, as you know, was top tier. Iverson was the star. The NBA was like, this dude is trouble. Look at the way he carry himself. We're going to go over here. We're going to go way over here and counterculture and get Kobe ready for superstardom. They groomed Kobe to be that. Kobe is another one. He exceeded expectations. So that's when my joint comes in with LeBron. LeBron, I tell people all the time, I'm from Newport News. I could turn on ESPN that one night and they were playing a basketball game of high school students because it was LeBron's team. The main event joint, the the mothership station, not ESPN 100, the main joint, son, where you're like, hold on, ain't no baseball game, ain't no real NBA, college, ain't we watching a high school game, son. They were grooming you to go, this dude is going to be that guy. So I'm like, yo, I'm good. You can't just keep trying to put people in our face. And you got to realize LeBron comes into the game during an era where that's really what was happening. We were being told to like this person. We were being told to listen to this person. We were being told that this person is dope. And yes, to me, if you go, what's LeBron's biggest accomplishment? He exceeded expectations. I'm not here to talk about who he teamed up with and how he got this or how thing. No. He went out here and he did something that nobody else has done in the era of super teams, and that is do it 4 times with 3 different teams. Nobody else has done that. There's nobody else who's out here becoming a traveling circus assassin for hire that has done that as a star. It hasn't worked for Durant. It hasn't worked for Harden, Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these dudes, Paul George, these dudes who are like on their 5th and 6th and 7th team, Russell Westbrook, it hasn't worked for them. It's worked for LeBron. And if you thinking when I said Durant wasn't the star of Golden State. Durant was an additive. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, they just lost the finals that year to LeBron, but they won the year before. So they're doubled up in the finals. They were 50-50. Durant comes, he's just the added help. He's the assassin that they hired. He's the sniper. But that wasn't his team. That clearly was the Splash Brothers and Draymond's team. He was that guy that they brought in the house. That's what that was. So when he went to Brooklyn, when he went to Phoenix, that was his time, and it didn't work out. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. In that layer. Same way you could say that with Harden, it didn't work out. Chris Paul, it didn't work out. Russell Westbrook, it didn't work out. It worked for LeBron. He goes to Miami, they get 2. He goes to Cleveland, they get 1. He goes to LA, they get 1. Yeah. If in the era of super teams, he did it. Then all of a sudden, the game of super teams started to diminish, because after he did it, there were no more super teams winning. And again, I don't count Golden State as a super team. They were already a great team who added a great player. That's not the same thing. Super teams is when, like, oh man, we got to bring a bunch of these people together. They just added one more dude. They were already straight. You know what I'm saying? That's draft pick straight. Milwaukee Bucks won, and then they were trying to play super team because they wanted to get back to that. Didn't work out. Your boy went back home. Dillard went back to Portland. It didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? OKC won. The Nuggets won. The Celtics won. Celtics don't have a super team. That's draft picks. You know what I mean? That's what it used to be. Y'all had some good draft picks. Y'all probably traded a guy who hasn't yet hit his potential, like a Robert Parrish, like a Bill Laimbeer. People don't forget those guys were they literally just was like, hey, here you could take a Robert Parrish. He's all right. Robert Parrish then became top 50 player of all time. I don't know if he made the top 75, but he was definitely top 50 player of all time. Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? Bill Laimbeer has 2 championships. Guy that we don't know what we can do with that guy. Detroit wants him. Yeah, let him go to Detroit. That's what I'm saying. There's players in that situation that when they go somewhere and then it clicks and then they just become that thing. That's a whole different thing. That's not super team. That's not, future Hall of Famer goes with another future Hall of Famer, and then there's a third future Hall of Famer. Ta-da. Nah, son. That's a super team. But, yeah, LeBron's the only one who has done that 4 times. You can't take that away from him. I don't care how much you hate him. I don't care how you paint the narrative. It happened. You can go with the Mickey Mouse bubble joint. That deserves an asterisk. You can say what you want to say. First of all, they were one of the top teams going in. right? If I'm not mistaken, they were one of the better teams going in. So it's not like they were down in the bottom and they worked their way up. No, so they were already one of the better teams going in. So you got to give them that much. But yeah, am I a LeBron fan? By no means am I a LeBron fan. I hate LeBron to the core. You know what I'm saying? I think he flops. I think he whines. I think his game is deep. I think his game hasn't really evolved. He doesn't have to have it evolve. And that's the other thing. He doesn't even have to have it evolve. He just got stronger. So it's like I'm bowing through these dudes. You know what I mean? Like there's a video where he was being taught by Akeem Olajuwon how to do this and do that. That man ain't put none of that in the game. He ain't incorporated none of that to his game. That was a waste of his money. Like, and that's probably why Akeem is like, yeah, I don't be messing with dude. Like I gave him some dope footwork, some secrets to night. Yeah, he ain't put none of that to work. Then you go over here to Giannis. Giannis done put it to work. You know what I'm saying? Word has it he's working with Wemby. Wemby gonna put it to work. It's different. It's a different joint. But yeah, man, that's my thing. I don't hate him. I hate the fact that the media told you this guy was going to be this guy, and then there's a generation of people who have been groomed by the media and are stat boys. So when they speak in stats only about everything that they're too young to understand. But of LeBron, when you bring up some stuff about LeBron, they go, oh no, it's not in that game. How do you know? I was watching that game. Bingo. That's how an old head feels when you're trying to tell them about Jordan because you looked at stats and didn't see the games. That's what they're telling you. Oh no, son, this is how this went down. Boom, boom, boom. And you're lost. But there's no respect given to go, I feel where you're coming from. Because you've seen it. And I think that's the thing. They don't wait till that next wave comes in and we're so easily throwing GOATs around and comparing them to GOATs that in 5 or 10 years, Steph's going to be old news. Durant's going to be old news. Lillard's going to be old news. Chris Paul's going to be old news. And yes, at some point, the same way they do it with Mike, Magic, Dr. J, Larry Bird, Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Bob Cousy, Pistol Pete, they gonna go, he overrated, dog. He ain't all that. And you're gonna be like, yo. And when they start throwing you stats, you're gonna be like, I saw those games, and you're gonna realize these dudes don't care about what you saw. They care about their guys, and they're looking at your stats and going, the stats show. And hopefully it hits you. This is what my OGs was saying. I get it. It's kind of hard to explain it if you didn't live it. You know what I'm saying? And that's my thing with LeBron fans. They didn't live it. And ESPN helps diminish the quality because you have dudes like Greeny, you have dudes like Stephen A, you have dudes who are in their 50s. I remember, I'm trying to remember, back when they had the Mike and Mike show, Greeny said something, LeBron had did some move, and Greeny was like, in my X amount of years of covering sports, I've never seen anybody do that before. Jump on Twitter. It was Twitter at that time. Jumped on Twitter and the Gram and Facebook. All of them, I guess, the same thing by the end of the week caught fire. The play he was talking about, there were other players. Not great players, by the way. We're not talking like Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan and Iverson and Kobe and Dirk. Regular dudes, you know what I'm saying? And no disrespect as I say that, my bad, because I feel like that's disrespectful. If you make it to the NBA, you are not an average dude. Allen, like Allen Houston did it. You know what I'm saying? Like Allen Houston, Richard Hamilton did it. I think what was the dude who looked like Lil C's for the 76ers? He did the move. Snow did the move. It was some type of move he did, and they were like, and he's like, I've never seen anything like that in my life. And they showed a bunch of guys doing that same exact move, and it hit me. I'm like, these dudes sell the conversation. This is a narrative. This is what they sell this narrative. to keep this debate going. You know what I'm saying? It's not, and then you had but when he did the joint when he hung in the air to make the last shot at the free throw line to beat whatever team, they were like, that was reminiscent of Michael Jordan. But the year prior, when he did some move in the regular season, I've never seen nothing like that done. And there's like 3 to 4 players that they showed, and they just kept it pushing like that didn't exist. That's my issue when it comes to LeBron James. It's not LeBron James. It's the fact that ESPN especially molds these weird narratives. Because matter of fact, if we're being really, really honest, all the hate to the older generation starts with ESPN. That was former basketball players who, by the way, weren't all-stars, weren't Hall of Famers, Hall of Fame quality players, and the ESPN people telling you these dudes is garbage. These dudes are trash. There's a video that every once in a while it resurfaces, the video clip of Shaq talking to some former NBA player who's a nobody. In the pantheon of greatness, he's a nobody. Again, you can't be a nobody if you were in NBA. So I don't like to use that. But compared to a Shaquille O'Neal, you're me. You know what I'm saying? Compared to a Shaquille O'Neal, you might as well be me. You're a nobody. And he's like, LeBron. And my man just was breaking them off with the joints. Why? Because greatness recognizes greatness, and they're not going to let you downgrade greatness. It's easy. And then the plumber talk, that came from Reddick. You know what I'm saying? That came from him on a joint, on a ESPN show. Them dudes were plumbers. That I remember watching Sports Nation when it was really, again, starting to really heat up. That's Marcellus Wallace telling you, man, have you looked at the footage of them old bats? Man, them dudes was garbage back then. That's the rhetoric. ESPN helped fuel the rhetoric that the generation priors to anything that was popping at that time was garbage. That was them saying that. You got that from the dudes who's gonna take a lot for them to get in the Hall of Fame. It's gonna take a slow year for them to get in the Hall of Fame. That's who you was hearing from. Them dudes is gonna take you. Man, it's a dark day that we just start throwing anybody in the joint. Yeah, them dudes. You know what I mean? Them dudes were the ones that I'm talking about. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Different era, but it still takes the work to be great. But anyway, yeah, Reese. I don't like LeBron. I took a long way to. I don't know where I went to, my man, but yeah. I don't. You know what? That's gonna be the last question for the day. I'm a little heated. I'm so heated right now. I want to go just listen to somebody talk trash about LeBron right now. What's your boy? I don't even know my man's name. I don't even think I follow my man, but he could pop up on my joint, my Facebook. I seen some joints on him for YouTube, Instagram. He on my joint everywhere. Just say you hate basketball. That guy. Just say you hate basketball. Yeah, I think I might go to his page and just indulge in his joint for like 30 minutes. Anyway, thank y'all for listening, man. Thank y'all for getting down. Reese, yes, I hate LeBron James. Let's get into what we do and get ready to get up out of here because I'm about to get back into listening to some music. And yeah, man. Thank y'all for rocking with me. East Coast, West Coast, Worldwide Lost Boys. Yeah, we'll do this again next week. This is how we get down. Please leave questions. Got comments, email, messenger, however y'all want to do it, you do it. Get at me. It's all good. I'm here. This is what we get down for. Thank y'all for rocking. And I gotta end it off the way I end off everything. They say you only live once. That's a lie. You only die once. So anytime that your God allows you to get out here and continue your journey, please show the world the best version of you. Y'all be safe. Thank you.
This is a Soul of Art presentation.